Hi, and welcome back to Miss Rain. I'm so excited to be in your ears today. Have you ever noticed how the women who say less often hold the most power? In a world that's constantly screaming for attention, louder voices, bigger reactions, more exposure, what if your true strength lies in what you don't reveal? What if mystery is your greatest form of protection? Today, we're diving into a different kind of feminine power, the power of pulling back, of mystery, of quiet presence. Because when you don't reveal everything, you protect your energy, you preserve your allure, and you command respect without a single shout. If you ask me, mystery is a superpower. It's that hidden strength that makes people curious, makes them lean in. They don't merely tolerate you, they want to know more about you. This episode is for the woman who wants to hold her peace, maintain her boundaries, and embody her magnetism without giving away her essence. Because real feminine power doesn't chase, it attracts. So grab your coffee or your journal and let's talk about why a little mystery might just be your new feminine armor. Let's be honest, so many of us, especially women, were raised to be open, available, and endlessly giving. We overshare, we overexplain, we overextend, hoping it will make people love or understand us more. But what usually happens? We end up feeling drained, unseen, or taken for granted. And this isn't random, it's conditioning. From a very young age, we were taught that being good means being accessible, that being mysterious means being cold. But here is the truth: being selective with your energy is not being cold, it's being in control. There is a huge difference. When you stop handing out unlimited access to your emotions, your stories, and your attention, something shifts. People start leaning in. Researchers at Harvard University and the University of Virginia found that uncertainty actually makes people more attracted to you. In the study, participants who didn't know how much a potential partner liked them reported higher attraction levels than those who knew exactly where they stood. Why? Because of what's happening in your brain. According to Cambridge neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz, our dopamine, that feel good reward chemical, spikes not when we get what we want, but when we anticipate it. What does that mean? Mystery literally keeps people's brains engaged. And this doesn't just apply to dating, by the way. It's the same reason great leaders, artists, and even luxury brands feel magnetic. They leave space for curiosity. They don't give it all away. This is also known as the information gap theory, developed by Dr. George Lowenstein at Carnegie Mellon University. When people sense there is something they don't know about you, their curiosity drives them closer, not away. Think about social media today. Some people share every moment, every thought, every feeling online, and yet, oddly, they often feel overlooked or drained. When you overshare, the magic disappears, curiosity fades, mystery is gone. That's why those who hold back, who reveal just enough, naturally draw attention and intrigue, just like people who radiate quiet confidence in real life. So, when you hold a little mystery, you're not playing hard to get. You're engaging the psychology of curiosity and protecting your peace in the process. There is a quiet kind of power in not reacting immediately, in not explaining every detail, in not needing to prove yourself. Over explained, by the way, is often a fun response. A trauma pattern described by therapists like Dr. Nicole Lipera. It's that reflex that says, if I explain myself enough, maybe they'll accept me. But when you practice pulling back, you interrupt that pattern. You teach your nervous system that your truth doesn't need permission. And here is the paradox. When you stop trying to convince people of your worth, they start to feel it. Mystery amplifies your value because it signals self trust. Let me put it this way, you don't have to be loud to be felt. When your energy is grounded and selective, people sense it. They listen more carefully. They wait for you to speak. In your personal life, this might look like not answering immediately when someone tests your boundaries, taking time before you share your feelings or plans, letting silence do the talking. In your professional life, it might mean speaking less but with more weight, holding presence in a meeting instead of rushing to fill the space, allowing your work, not your words, to communicate your confidence. That's not coldness, that's self possession. I'll give you another example. Think about the world of ultra luxury brands Berluti, Goyard, Hermès, Rolls-Royce. These names aren't everywhere. They don't shout on social media or flood you with promotions. Instead, they cultivate desire through rarity, discretion, and impeccable craftsmanship. You don't need to chase attention. People are drawn to what feels exclusive and refined. That's exactly the principle of pulling back in your own life. By embracing mystery, by being selective with what you reveal, you create a magnetic allure. People are naturally curious, intrigued, and drawn to your energy, waiting to know more. Modern psychology needs ancient feminine wisdom here. When you create space, when you pause, when you breathe, when you don't rush to fill every silence, you allow your nervous system to stay in regulation. And that calm presence, it's magnetic because energy doesn't lie. The person who isn't desperate for validation always radiates peace. And that peace is power. You become that woman who's not chasing, but drawing everything meant for her. Now I want to be crystal clear. This episode isn't about manipulation or emotional games. It's about protecting your peace, regulating your energy, and showing up from self respect, not control. True mystery doesn't come from hiding who you are, it comes from not needing to prove who you are. You can be warm, kind, and open hearted while still being intentional with your access. Before we close, I want you to sit with these three questions. Where am I overgiving my energy, time, or attention? What would pulling back just a little bit make room for in my life? What would it feel like to be fully grounded in my own mystery? Because the woman who knows how to pull back isn't running away, she's rising higher. Here is your value. Pulling back is not passive, it's an active presence. It's saying through your being, I have value, I preserve my space, my energy is sacred. If you carry this truth, you don't need to perform or prove, you simply are. And now, if this episode resonated with you, if you felt that stir of recognition, please rate and review the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Your voice helps other women find this message. And share this episode with someone who needs to step into their quiet power. You don't have to shout to be heard. Sometimes your mystery shouts for you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Until next time, stay graceful, stay powerful, and always wear your crown.